communicate up front. I call that prehab versus rehab, right? You have problems, right? You need to prehab those problems so you don't have as many problems, or you rehab them. America and our society, we like to rehab the hell out of everything, right? So rehab some of those problems. So if you can identify some of those problems, what are the prehabs? A lot of that for us coaching-wise is educating, creating daily routines, so they can be prepared for whatever task that they have, right? With relationships, observing, asking questions, creates that good environment. It's all about the environment. Create the environment for people to thrive.
I learned how to communicate best by working with youth players. Youth players, a lot of times they're distracted, and they also don't understand certain words you use. And so I learned really how to communicate effectively by talking to youth players, and that's really, really helped me with the pro level. Here's a story for you. One of our current players, I won't tell you his name, I think he is the most talented infielder that we have. Hands down. I don't even think it's a question. And but this player has kind of a confidence issue about his ability in the field, and it all stems from 20 years earlier in college, or 15 years earlier in college, and how he was handled by his coaches. All right, and I had no idea at all until I was like, you know what is this guy's problem? And then I learned more about this person. I learned more about this player, about what happened 15 years ago, and how that lack of confidence is still following him today. Okay? Upon learning that, I realized, wow, that's not great. Now I know how to communicate better, what to say, how to handle this individual in present day, to help that individual show his true talent on the field. I had no idea. Shame on me for, you'll learn as you go, right? Growth mindset, you're constantly learning, all right? You don't just sit down that first opening day, learn everything in the world about this person. That's not reality, but you're constantly learning. When you see people having a hard time, like one of your players having a hard time, sit down and talk to them, learn from them, ask them what's going on. And maybe eventually, based on when the trust happens, they'll open up more. And when they open up, that is the best opportunity that you have as a loving coach to really, really help them become their fantastic true self. And so it's, we're talking about communication and relationships. That's so much about coaching. So much. It's, I would say, the number one skill that you guys could learn if you want to become a coach is communication skills. Everything. It's really everything. What other questions we got?
How much time do we got left? I have no idea.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Cool. What we got?
Anybody have anything related to the Savannah, like in general? I know we watched some of their clips.
Yeah, you want to know anything
ones.
funny or weird or how it happens? Like, we've stopped talking about coaching now for, we got.
I was going to ask, how practices go, how you guys, how you work with having to implement choreographed elements of the game or whatever, and how that kind of in the beginning had, could have been an intrusion or whatever, how you dealt with that, how you to structure the practices around all that.
Yeah, that's a great question. We both have insight on this, and it's the number one question that I get when there's people who are in the baseball or coaching world. They're like, what are your practices like? Our practices look similar to a regular baseball practice. Our guys are so highly talented. If the baseball's not good, it doesn't work. So they have to be trained as baseball players. So it looks similar, right? We hit, we throw, we run, we work on base running, all of those things, because they have to be good baseball players. As you know, we do lots of trick plays. We do some unique things on the field, not specifically the entertainment, like the dancing and the choreographed dances and things like that, but from the show standpoint, those trick play standpoint. And so we just build those in just like routine ground balls or fly balls, but it's only trick plays. And we create this environment that is safe for these guys to try new things because they're coming from college or pro ball and they're doing everything the same way because that's all they learned how to do for 20 plus years. Now we're asking them to do something radically different and do trick plays and try to like push the needle and do something on a baseball field that people have never seen. So we have to create a really, really comfortable environment where if somebody tries something and they fail, right, that nobody's laughing at them. That we don't kill that creativity or the willingness to try. So Tyler, he structures all our practices. He can talk more on what those look like.
Yeah, so if you go back to the language of coaching, Nick Winkleman, he talks about the mother of skill is reps, right? So creating your environment of whatever you're doing, if you want to create a skill, you need to rep that skill as much as possible, all right? So figure out how you're structuring your practices or whatever you're wanting to learn, and get as many reps in as you possibly can. And then from there, you want to get as many quality reps in, right, as you can, right? So quantity versus quality type of scenario. Byron brings up a good point. All right, I'm a big base running guy, and so majority of my teams, we would steal like 150 plus bases every year. We've had teams lead the country in stolen bases, right? I created a system called the Green Light Special, all right? Green Light Special is based on information that you have of understanding the pitcher and the catcher. You would be able to have the green light as a player to make the decision that you need to be able to steal it back or not steal it back. So when I first implemented this, I saw us as a team, we had a coach that I was coaching with, that he ran the offense. We gave no steal signs the entire year and they stole 130 bases without giving one steal sign as a coach. It was all based on if you see this, that checks off and gives you green light, okay? Now what happens within that is the learning period, right? There's gonna be some bad decisions made to understand what you can and can't do, right? There's the growth period. What happens in that scenario is, let's say my player steals third base, right? And he tries to steal third base and he gets thrown out. And I'm the third base coach. You guys have seen this. You guys have all experienced this probably as one of your coaches. You see this. Oh my God. What are you doing? Are you kidding me? You never get thrown out at third base, right? All right, so now, psych teacher, okay? All right. How are you going to respond the next time you're on second base? What's in your head now? I don't want to get thrown out. I don't want to get ripped by the coach. All right, so now my offensive plan of trying to steal more bases, now I've taken handcuffs and put them on every single player that I've had, and they have no confidence in order to do what I need them to do in game and make the best decision because of how I responded, right? Now, if I responded different, then like, I didn't make any moves, right? If he gets thrown out, I'm like, okay, little pat on the butt, go to the dugout, but when I get into the dugout, I'm like, hey, let's go through what you saw. Why do you think you got thrown out? So it goes back to the questions. All right, hey, why do you think you got thrown out? Did you get a good jump? Did you get a good lead? What pitch was there? So you start walking through this scenario. You're like, all right, what do you think you can do different? So instead of me ripping their butt and telling them that they're stupid, all right, I create this environment like, hey, good job, stay aggressive. All right, stay aggressive. Pressure burst pipes. All right, and then we go in there and have this discussion about what they saw. I'm like, okay, what's our next adjustment? All right, the next time you get on second base, I want you to steal in the next 3 pitches. Right? So you create the environment by your body language, which is 90% of your communication, and your response, and then figuring out how you're going to keep that person being aggressive. Right? So that's kind of the scenario of our trick plays, basically. Byron talks about it all the time. How many trick plays did we have 2 years ago?
0.
0 trick plays, okay, in banana ball. This past year, we had 616 trick plays, okay? We didn't emphasize it before. It wasn't a thing before this 2023 tour. We didn't ever talk about trick plays, all right? But going into this tour, we said, what makes us different? How are we going to stand out in trick plays, right? And so we put an emphasis on it. We worked on it every single day. We created that environment, that safety environment for them to fail forward. fell forward. And it created something pretty cool, and we're just building on it. That's going to be the foundation. I bet next year we're going to get 8, 9, 900, 1,000 church bells.
I think we're almost out of time. Bryson Wheeler, right here, is going to start working for us. I hope I'm okay to say that. Full time in January. He started our internship program and absolutely crushed it. He was undeniable when it came to figuring out who's going to help us continue to shape this baseball department. And so Bryson has all of our contact info. You can email us, but you can reach out to Bryson. We can also give it to professors, and we encourage questions. We will tell you anything and everything, and probably tell you too much. But more importantly, you're going to get, if you ask the right questions, you're going to get all the information from us. We can help you figure out, hey, I don't really know where to go. I kind of like law, I kind of like psychology, I kind of like coaching. What do I do with that, right? And we can talk about it. So use us as resources. I'm sure a lot of coaches say that, like, yeah, just reach out. You will get a phone call or a text or an email back from us right away, and we'll be happy to do so. Additionally, we're always looking for interns. We're always looking for the next people. I tell Bryson this and other people, I want to teach you everything so you take my job. So, like, I'm not going to be around forever, so we need a new swell of folks coming in. And we're right down the road, and we have a lot of fun, and I think we have a lot of fun, right? But we also, we work really hard. And more importantly, we're able to teach you a lot and help you grow. But we'll provide that information. Reach out.